Hey guys, welcome to Bootcamp Day 2. This video is for anybody that needs a review. I went too quickly, you zoned out in class, or you just need to be reminded of what topic sentences are all about. This is also for the people who are absent. So if you are absent, then what I would suggest doing is pulling out a piece of note paper or turning to the note page in your book and titling this, Writing Bootcamp Day Number 2, Topic Sentences. The topic sentences are something that we're like, oh, whatever, super easy, right? But if we fail on topic sentences, then our entire essay, our entire paragraph falls apart because this is literally the guiding force. The topic sentence is the map for the rest of your either essay or your paragraph. If your directions for your map are off, then everything falls apart. This is right last class or last writing bootcamp lecture. We focused on the rhetorical analysis strategies of PAPA, right? P for purpose, A for audience, P for persona or how somebody wants to come across, and the other A for argument. All of those elements help us not only as a reader to identify what the idea or the main message is as we're reading, but as a writer, help us identify what am I trying to prove and to whom am I trying to prove this. So all writing centers around this clear purpose and this clear message. And as I mentioned at the very beginning, this purpose and message is communicated clearly in one area. For an essay, it's communicated in the thesis statement, okay? So that's the very final statement of your introduction paragraph, and that is the roadmap for the rest of the essay. You say at the very beginning, hey, this is our destination, this is where we're going. Trust me, right? If we are writing a paragraph and we don't have an essay, it's not multiple paragraphs, it's just one singular paragraph, then that clear purpose, that clear argument is in the topic sentence where you're saying, hey, this is the direction the paragraph is going. Follow along, and by the end of this, I will get us there, or I will prove this. What we're going to be doing for the good portion of this semester is we're going to be focusing on just getting the structure of paragraphs down. So we're really going to be focusing today on writing a topic sentence, okay? So again, just as a review, right? You have to know your audience, know exactly what you're trying to say, and there has to be a super clear purpose. If you're trying in a topic sentence for a body paragraph to stuff too many ideas, too many things that you're trying to prove in one sentence and you don't deliver, then your audience and your reader is going to be lost. So without further ado, let's review topic sentences. Now, you guys are all familiar with the FAT sentence. When we are writing a paragraph, the FAT sentence is the topic sentence, okay? So only when we're writing a paragraph, a standalone paragraph, right? Not an essay, only when we're writing a standalone paragraph is the FAT sentence a topic sentence. And because we're focusing on paragraphs, we're going to focus on writing a FAT sentence as a topic sentence. Now, author, title, and text type, which are, the A, T, and T at the end, are always pretty easy to find, right? Because it literally is given to us. At the very beginning of a novel, at the very beginning of an article, it says, this is the title, this is the text type, and then you just look for the author. All of those things are easy. The hardest thing to usually find for students as a reader, as a teacher, is the focus statement. And that's because it's a bit more complex. It's something that in order to get, you have to analyze. But the plus side is because we spent so much time on that PAPA acronym, right? Purpose, audience, persona, and argument. We have already figured out how to identify a focus. So just as a review, right? Your purpose as a writer is it's a verb, to inspire, to educate, to convict, to reprimand. Your audience is who you're addressing, and you have to consider your audience always. Your persona is how you want to come across, right? Do you want to sound scholarly, like your next door neighbor, flirtatious, whatever it is? And your argument is the main idea, what you're trying to get the audience to do, right? But what's really cool is that when you identify the PAPA acronym in your reading, you already have identified the focus. So let me give you an example. We watched last week Dead Poet Society in a clip. We figured the purpose was to inspire. We figured the audience were students because that's who John Keating, the teacher, was talking to. His persona was thoughtful, and his argument was seize the day, carpe diem, right? Make the most of your lives. So what's really freaking cool is that because we've been able to identify those things, our focus statement for the Dead Poet Society literally is Keating inspires his students to seize the day. That's it. You're literally just taking those four elements and you're putting them in a short phrase. And that phrase is what becomes your focus statement. So you can kind of get rid of the idea that the focus statement is always so hard to find. If you're able to identify the four rhetorical devices, it's pretty easy. I'll give you the example of something else. We also watched that clip from Avengers Endgame, and we saw that the purpose of Captain America's speech was to motivate. We saw that his audience was the Avengers and his team, that his persona was he's the leader. He wants to come across as the leader. And his argument was do whatever it takes at whatever cost. So right there, I have the pieces to form a focus statement. And that is Captain America motivates his team to do whatever it takes to accomplish their mission, no matter the cost. It's all there for you, which is so cool. Because again, the focus statement is so hard to find most of the time. So moving on. So we've got our focus statement. We have our author. We have our title, and we have our text type. So I'm going to use this example because I think you guys had all read Edgar Allan Poe's short story, The Fall of the House of Usher, maybe. But I'm going to break it down and just show you what this looks like. And again, a lot of you guys know this. So the whole topic sentence is, in Edgar Allan Poe's short story, Fall of the House of Usher, Poe uses specific imagery to describe the House of Usher as he would describe a human. So I've got my author very clearly there, right? Edgar Allan Poe, he is my author. I've got my text type, short story. This can also be movie, article, song, novel, speech, any of those things. I've got my title. Now, really quick with titles, if it's a short story, a song, or a song, then the title is usually in quotation marks, okay? So if you're quoting something from Olivia Rodrigo's Good For You, then the Good For You title would be in quotations. Usually it's in italics for bigger works. So again, quotations for smaller works, shorter works, right? So an article, a short story, a poem, or a song. And for longer works, think italics. So that would be a novel or a movie. And then we have our focus, which is he uses specific imagery to describe the House of Usher as he would describe a human. So remember, I want you to think of the focus, which is also the purpose of the argument. Think of it like a roadmap, okay? They are directions to your end destination. So if this was the topic sentence of my paragraph, then as a reader, I could say, okay, by the end of this, through evidence and elaboration, this writer is going to prove to me that the House of Usher is described like a human through imagery, okay? So it's really important that you have a clear focus statement that you can prove. Because if you promise me as a teacher and as a reader, if you promise me this, but your evidence and your elaboration has nothing to do with that, then I would fail you, okay? So I cannot or over exaggerate how important topic sentences are. It is the backbone, if I'm going to use another simile. Topic sentences are the backbone of your writing. Without like a spine, right, the human body can function. Without a clear topic sentence, your entire paragraph will literally fall apart. So let's look here, right? So we've got example A and we've got example B. Thanos, the main character in the movie Avengers Endgame, directed by the Russo brothers, did nothing wrong. Okay, so there's one. Then we've got example B. The kiss between Kylo Ren and Rey in Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker was contrived to please the audience rather than tell a good story. So the question is, which one is incorrect? They both sound good. They both look good. But example B is actually missing the text type. Sure, we can all assume that Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is a movie, but you have to explicitly state it. So example B would have been correct if it said the kiss between Kylo Ren and Rey in the movie Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker was contrived to please the audience rather than tell a good story. If you added in that text type, then it would be correct. Okay, so let's do this again. Example A, the main character in Shonda Rhimes' TV drama Grey's Anatomy is Dr. Meredith Grey. Example B, though David Crane and Marta Kaufman's TV sitcom Friends has no character name, it's in its title, Rachel Green is its main character. So, which one is written incorrectly? Okay, this was kind of a trick question, and this is to bring up our final point. When you have a focus statement, it has to be something that is arguable. A focus statement cannot be a fact, okay? So again, this is kind of the final point that I want you guys to get across. When you have a focus statement, it is something that must be able to be argued, okay? Nobody can argue with the fact that gravity exists. So if you were to write a paragraph trying to prove that gravity exists, that would be a waste of time because it is a scientific fact. If you were if a focus statement said 2 plus 2 will always equal 4, that is not a proper focus statement because that is a fact. It cannot be argued. So the example here, example A and B are both correct from a structure standpoint. They both have text type, they both have the author, they both have the title. However, their focus statement is, in example A, is a fact. Dr. Meredith Grey is, in fact, the lead character in Grey's Anatomy. And again, that's not something that's necessarily arguable or questionable. I mean, her name is literally in the title, and it starts off and ends with what's going on in her life. And then you have all the subsequent characters outside of that. However, example B is correct because you can argue that Rachel Green is not the main character. You could argue that Monica or Ross or Chandler or Phoebe are the main characters. At least there's that up for debate. So, again, as a final point, which you should put in your notes and you should remember, a focus statement has to be something that can be argued, okay? So it needs to be something that somebody can disagree with. Otherwise, there's absolutely no point in writing a paragraph. Okay? So, real quick, what have we learned so far? When writing a singular standalone paragraph, you must have a topic sentence with each FAT element, which is our focus, author, title, and text type. Your focus has to be what the entire paragraph is centered around. So if you're trying to prove that Rachel Green is the main character, but then all of a sudden you start talking about the set design and it has nothing to do with Rachel, then you're way off, right? Our topic sentence, and you can view it as either the backbone or the roadmap for the rest of the paper. So again, needs to be clear, don't go off topic. And finally, that final point, right? Your focus has to be arguable. Hopefully that helped. And if you have any questions, please email me or reach out. And feel free to rewind or rewatch as much as you need to understand the concept. Good luck.